Stadium. Time to bring in Herm Edwards again. So on the one side of the coin, you have, Tom Brady's gonna be so fired up. Poor Browns, he's gonna put up 70. He's angry. But I'm talking to a former player up here yesterday, and he knows Tom well. And he's like, look, I don't care how good you are. Rust is a factor if you've been shelved for an entire month. Where do you fall? What do you expect to see from Tommy Boy?
Well, he's not going to do that. I mean, he's going to try to win the game, come in to this game with the idea that, hey, I don't want to turn the ball over. I want to feel the speed of the game. He hasn't participated in a live game yet. I mean, he's playing.
He's going to have a shield out there if all else fails.
I wish he would come out there with the shield and the suit on. Captain America.
Is that the music?
Yes.
Captain America. Matt Berry, top that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a lot. It was like 5 plates on each side.
Oh, my goodness. That's incredible. I don't want to leg press air. So you've admitted some things in your book, and you've talked a little bit about suffering from depression in the past. How did you deal with those feelings?
It's been hard.
Mine right around Valentine's Day, if that tells you anything. You mentioned Tiger Woods, and for 3 years you were in one of the most high-profile relationships in the country. What did you learn about yourself during that time?
I think that actually made me so much stronger being in that relationship, mostly because of that, because I accepted and care what anyone else thinks.
Do you have to unplug sometimes from that completely? Do you just turn social networking off? I mean, I know you want to be able to relate to your fans, but it's got to be hard at someone at your level to hear that constantly.
It is really hard, especially in season itself.
Well, clearly confidence is not an issue when it comes to your sport. I mean, as I've said a couple of times now, you're one of the most accomplished ever at what you do. So where do you find the motivation to continue to compete when you've already really kind of had all the accolades?
It's just what I
Pittsburgh running back James Conner is back on the field as a story in itself. His off-season regimen was intense. It was draining, and at times he thought he wouldn't make it through. Chemotherapy can have that effect on someone, and from December until May, that was Conner's life. Football was never far from his thoughts, though, and his teammates made sure of that, signing a football for their captain, a football that he carried with him every session as a source of inspiration, a focus for him to get back on the field. Tom Rinaldi has more on his journey. Mark Schlabach, we really appreciate you being here. So let's start with Ohio State. Urban Meyer went to a familiar face for some intel. Tell us a little bit about that story.
Yeah, we just heard Todd talk a little bit about Tom Herman. He was obvious.
The Florida State-Louisville game, FSU safety Derwin James. James is out with a knee injury. So what are coaches saying what impact that could have on the game?
Well, I talked to some people around the ACC. They feel like Derwin.
Another occurrence with blood clots.
Yes.
And so he was tweeting out and showing videos last season that he was ready to go.
Yeah, he was, but certainly I think at that point, when it's a second occurrence, then everyone, antennas were raised at that point.
Not your boy, David, but my boy, my colleague, David Lloyd, discussing Des Bryant. The other day, we had a top 5 list where we were talking about the top 5 wideouts in the game. Would you still consider Des Bryant one of the top wideouts in the league?
Absolutely. I mean, listen.
17 times hit a season opener.
Disgusting.
That was your take on it?
Disgusting. Does Cam Newton even know that he has a game Sunday?
Well, I understand.
Head-to-head contact, period. And the quarterback, imagine if they did that to Peyton Manning last year.
Yeah.
One time.
Not once.
It wouldn't happen.
So they're playing the 49ers, and obviously we're all watching Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. He says he will do so until social injustice is taken care of in whatever realm he feels that's supposed to happen. You tweeted the following: anybody that kneels